Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 77. First of all, before we start, if you like this type of content about music, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Today's episode is going to be. I was thinking about this for a while, but before I do, I just got off work, so. There we go. So, last couple of ranking episodes I've done, certain albums always end up at the bottom, for certain bands, and they'll be in this pile of albums that I have here. So, these albums also didn't sell, were panned by critics and fans. So, my question here is, are these good albums but by the wrong band? Or are they bad albums by the right band, if you know what I mean here? So I'll start off with, I'm going to try to be a little more positive, not as complaining as other episodes there. But we'll start off with Quiet Riot. This one's just called Quiet Riot, QR. So this one came after Quiet Riot 3, which was Kevin Dubro's last. And this one, they got a different singer, which is Paul Shortino. You might know him from Rough Cut before that, and currently with King Cobra. I like Paul Shortino's voice. It's kind of a low, I don't want to sound bad saying, it's like a sexy kind of voice girls would like, I guess. They're like a sexy, macho, anyway, voice. Not at all like Kevin Dubrow. So, this flopped tight. Like, I don't know anybody that owns this, if they even own it, and they like it. So, question is this a good album by the wrong band? Or is it a bad album by the right band? This one to me would be a bad album by the right band. It's because if you listen to Quiet Riot 3, you could see where they were kind of trending into this direction. But this is just this night and day. Quiet Riot, Mental Health, and then this one, which is 3 albums later. This is their 4th album. If you don't count those Japanese ones before Mental Health, they're full of keyboard. I mean, I do love the song "Stay With Me Tonight." It grew on me, I guess. But the rest is just, I don't even know how to describe this. Like, anyway, I don't really enjoy this album. I actually listened to it today just to prepare for this episode here, but. I don't know, it's just too bottom-endy, and it doesn't sound like Quiet Riot, to be honest. It's just so different here. So, I'm just curious about your thoughts about... And let me know if after this episode in the comments, if I've forgotten some. There's some I'm like, I'm just going to stick to 8 albums for this episode. But anyway, Quiet Riot, their 4th album with the vocalist Paul Shortino. I never really liked it, so whether it's a good album by the wrong band, I don't find these songs are that great to begin with anyway, so there you go. Next up, I've talked about this band, was it my last? 2 episodes ago anyway, so I'll be revisiting Judas Priest, Nostradamus. Do people hate this because, again, is it a good album but it should have been done by somebody else? Or is it a bad album by Priest? Structurally, I can understand why people don't like it. It's a little long. It's a little long-winded. I do love the album a lot, actually. Well, maybe let's go here. There you go. Nostradamus. I have no problems with this album, to be honest. I still find there's some Priest in there. I find it's a good album by the... Well... Not a good album by the wrong band there. A good album by the right band. That's my opinion. But Why, like I said, for people who don't like this album, is it a bad album by Judas Priest, or is it a good? Should it be a good album by somebody else? You let me know. But yeah, I'm not gonna jabber on about this one here. I've talked about it 2 episodes ago. But Judas Priest, Nostradamus, should it be, is it a good album by some other band? You know what I mean there. Hope everybody understands the what I'm trying to say here. Like some albums, I don't know. Is it just the in thing, like hating Nickelback? Is it because the critics say it's bad? Is it because everybody else thinks that it should be bad? Or you know what, like everybody should hate Nickelback, stuff like that there. I don't own any Nickelback, so I don't even have an opinion on this here. But anyway, that's another one. All right, next up here would be Motley Crue. So this is the album with John Corabi, the one without Vince Neil. I did meet John Corabi, so you can see he did sign my copy here. This did not go well with fans. And this is, I'm a little... We want Vince. You know what? Vocally, this guy is 10 times better than Vince Neil. We've all seen the memes on the internet, how Vince can't sing anymore. He's been like this for, I would say, decades almost there. But was this a good album by the wrong band? I find this album great, but I'll get to that in a few minutes here. Or was it a bad album by Motley Crue? A lot of people, critics, like I said, they're like, like nobody cares about this. But lately, I find a lot of people are starting to say, you know what, this album was actually pretty good. But the thing is, this took me a long while to get into, like a long while. So if it's a good album, let's say by the wrong band, let's say. I remember my friend Steph at the time says they should have changed their name. You know what? I don't even think I would have bothered buying this if it was another band. Like, the reason it was called Motley Crue is because I had all the other Motley Crues before that, and I got this one, and I got the other ones after that. I would have not. I don't think. Anyway, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I guess there. I don't think I would have liked or even bought this album had it not been a Motley Crue album, if that makes any sense. When it first came out, I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like, a very big change musically. But they change music styles almost every album anyway. But I find this album great. I love this album here. FYI, there will be a Motley Crue ranking episode coming soon there with a guest star. But anyway, Motley Crue, is this you guys think it's a bad album by Motley Crue, or is it a good album by, should have been somebody else, another band doing this here? I personally like this album a lot, and I don't think I would have bought it had it not been a Motley Crue album. Let me put it that way. But I like this one here. Cheers. This one, oh my God, did this go bad at the time. Now, I'm not going to talk about immediate friends like my friend Pascal, who I know what he thinks about this album here. But I'm curious to know people out there. Halloween Chameleon. Wow, what a change. And before I go into this one, I'm going to ask a question. Do your bands, like your favorite bands, do you always want them to be stuck on the same... I'm not judging anybody here. I'm just curious, actually. Do you want your bands to be doing the same thing all the time? Or do you want them to experiment from time to time? I, myself, would like, especially with the discography of, I don't know how many albums they have, at least 15, these guys. This almost destroyed their career. Almost all these albums here destroyed people's careers, almost, what I'm about to talk about anyway. But this one here, like, is another one where it's like people, right, like, even the one before that, Pink Bubbles Go It, didn't go over that well, but it still went well, I think. But this one was like, oh my god, what is this? But then I love this album here. Is it a Halloween album? Is it a good Halloween album? Or sorry, is it a good album by the wrong band? This is not. This does not sound at all like Halloween, like hardly at all. Or is it a bad album? Like, do people just don't like it? A bad album by Halloween? You let me know. I actually like this album a lot. There's First Time, When the Sinner, man. When that came out, I fucking loved it. I Don't Want to Cry No More, me. Crazy Cat, I like. Giants, I like. Windmill, me. Revolution Now's good. In the Night, cute. Music is probably one of my favorites off of this one here. Step Out of Hell probably is arguably people's favorite song off of this one here. I Believe in Longing, they're long songs there. But I have no problem with this album. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. And power metal to me is kind of, to me power metal sounds all the same all the time here. But anyway, I'm just curious to see Halloween Chameleon. Is it a good album, but the wrong band, or a bad album by Halloween? Let me know. This one I've talked about on my channel here before. Megadeth Risk. Wow, when I talk about this to people, they fucking hate this album, and I'm like, okay, so let's use this again, my little catchphrase. Is this a good album, but not a Megadeth record, or is this a bad Megadeth record? Now, I don't think a lot of this sounds like Megadeth, but to me, a good song is a good song, right? Breadline does not sound like a Megadeth song, but man, is that a very beautiful, like, it's one of the better songs I find ever written. That is, I don't know, the structure, the way the vocals flow. It's a softish song there, but man, it's catchy as hell. Crush 'Em, it's a little dumb, but I still like the song there. Insomnia, I like a lot. Time, the end. Anyway, is this a bad Megadeth record, or is this a very good album by? This should have been a side project or something, you know? Like, that's what I'm trying to get at here. So Megadeth Risk. Listen to Breadline. Like I said, and don't put Metallica. God, yes. Have a shot for that, Dan. Ooh. Why am I not tinging as loud? Is this... Fuck, I lost my train of thought now. What the hell was I talking about? Megadeth. Is this a bad Megadeth record? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, sorry, now I remember. Take Megadeth out of the equation here. Just listen to the song Breadline for what it is. I think it's a great song. Is it a Megadeth song? Probably not. But you know what? A great song to me is a great song. That's my opinion on that. I've talked about this one here too. This one is... And another thing. Bands, because an album flopped, they immediately disown it. And this right here is no exception. And that's what I hate. It's like, so you make something different and people fucking hate it. You disown it. Oh, we should never have made that. What if the album would have sold or been popular, you know? So these guys are one of the worst for that. They're Kiss the Elder. I like the album. Would I say love? No. I like listening to this on a rainy day or in the winter. I don't know. This does not scream summer. So Kiss, Music from the Elder. These guys are Kiss are like, oh no, that was a bad idea. Blah blah blah. You know what? What if it would have been like an album people would have loved, and I don't think Kiss would be disowning it like they would be doing this here. But out of all these, well, you guys know Kiss is my favorite band here. That's probably the one I've listened to the most there. But I mean, it is what it is. There's some great songs on this. I can listen to, like, it's a concept album, but it's one of these, like Escape from the Island is easily the best instrumental Kiss ever did. They did what, two? Maybe three if you count Car Jam there, but The Oath is a great heavy cruncher. I is another great song too. And I'm just, is this a bad Kiss record? Or should it be a good Kiss? Sorry, is it a good record but done by somebody else? Like, I don't know, Genesis or Pink Floyd, or you know what I mean? There, I don't know. Or anyway, you know what I'm talking about here. But anyway, let me know in the comments here. All right, this one here. I remember when this came out, I wasn't really into this band here. But apparently everybody loves all their albums except this one. Eat the Heat by Accept. So Accept had three singers. The one they currently have, Udo, and of course this album, which had David Reese. Now, I'll ask the question again. Is this a good album, but it should not have been Accept? Or is it a bad album by Accept? I consider this my guilty pleasure, I guess, for Accept. I actually don't mind this album a lot. Like, I take it for what it is. It's, but like Ecstasy, Generation Classic. It was written with Udo, I believe, at the time. But it's, man, it screams hair metal, verging on heavy metal, I guess there. But I don't know. There's some great tracks on here, I find. Apparently it's hard to find. My friend Pascal's trying to find this one here too. But yeah, this does not sound like Accept that we all know and love there. But I actually enjoy this one here. So, good album by the wrong band or bad album by Accept? You let me know. Last one here. Man, this one went through some rough times. Almost destroyed this band too. Well, we kind of destroyed themselves a lot over the years, but whatever. Van Halen 3. First off, this is the one with Gary Cherone. Secondly, I don't blame Gary Cherone one bit for this album. His voice is great on this. That being said, is this a very bad album by Van Halen, or should this be a good album but by somebody else? I have a hard time going through this whole album here. Some of these songs just, I know they wanted to change sounds, but it's just like, I don't know, I still like my music somewhat interesting at the time, and some of these songs are so not interesting. It's like A Year to the Day. How long is that song? Does it have the... Anyway, one of these songs is a fucking long song, and it's just like slow mid-tempo song. Anyway, I do like New World Without You. Dirty Water Dog's decent. Fire in a Hole I love a lot, but that's about it. Like the rest is just like, it's not. I don't find this a bad album. It's just like, I don't find it interesting that like you're just listening to it and you're like, all right, I gotta go. Like, put this on if you want to go to bed. It'll put you to sleep. But again, I don't blame Gary Cherone all that. He was just an unfortunate product of, and this flopped totally here. But anyway, good album by the wrong band? I don't think so. I don't like this album. Bad album by the right band? Well, yeah, I guess, but it should be a bad album by just period. I just don't really care for this album. I don't think many people like this album too. So, those are my 8 albums. Well, before I do that, let's just have a little clear the palette here. So I'm just curious to see what other people. I have missed some albums. Like I know, off the top of my head, like, you know what? Maybe I'll save it for another one. There, just write in the comments. Like I said, some I like. I don't own it. But Saint Anger, my God, how many people fucking hate that album by Metallica? Man, he was even booed. I saw he was. They were doing a show a couple of weeks ago, and he kept mentioning the word Saint Anger, and people were booing that. Now, is it because it sounds like crap that people don't like it? Are the songs bad? Like, I don't know. I don't like Metallica, so not. I'm just curious. Like I said, mostly looking for feedback or comments to what this is here. So, like I said, the whole thing was good albums by the wrong band or bad album by the right band, which I mean, like, the right band being the band that did the album. Some I like. I think there's two that I don't like. The rest I pretty much like those albums that came out there. But if you have some other choices you want to share in the comments here, go ahead. So on that note, this was kind of not bugging me there in the last week there, but when I see rankings, I see certain albums all the time at the low part. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually curious to see if people would have liked these albums had it not been by that band. So anyway, enough of my yapping here. On that note, thank you for watching. Once again, please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. There will be more. Tell your friends. And on that note, I shall bid you adieu and see you next episode, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.